Perry McMahon with UKFightSite.com. I'm down here at New School BJJ with Tom Watson.
Yeah.
Tom, great to see you. How's everything been going? It's been a while since we've seen you in action. I think it was 2015.
Yeah, I mean, it would be over probably 3.5 years almost by the time we fight again. So everything's good. Just, I struggled with sort of matchups, pull-outs, had about 1.5 years after the UFC of still training competitively and putting myself forward for last-minute fights, so to speak, and they never really came off. And then, just one thing led to another. I did a master's degree in sports science. I did a few other bits and pieces, and then here we are back again, make the walk again. So,
so you've been busy with a master's degree and everything.
Yeah, trying to keep busy and just trying to keep keep the mind working, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it was like last year, around July. It was announced that you was going to be signed with, you was signed with BAMMA, and it seemed at the time that BAMMA was already slowing down operations, from what I heard at the last show backstage. How did that all end up with the BAMMA guys?
Basically, I know BAMMA obviously from fighting there. I know the guys behind the organisation, and ended up having a meeting with them and sort of spoke to them about doing some commentary and getting on board with other pieces like that. And then through that, we both kind of came to a thing where they felt that the brand grew when I was fighting for them. They kind of had, a star that did well on TV, and that was kind of like, look, if you'd be interested in fighting again, we'll potentially give it another shot and do that. And that was kind of why I signed with that to happen.
And now you've moved on to Cage Warriors in the welterweight division. How did you come about the making the change from middleweight to welterweight?
Well, with BAMMA it was still going to be welterweight. I mean, I actively have wanted really to do welterweight for a while, and Cage Warriors was, I just was looking for the place where consistency was there. The problems that I would have had with BAMMA, confusion in reliability, can they do shows on this timelines, a lot of the problems that I would be questioning. Cage Warriors, is never an issue. They've got shows every couple of weeks. They've got a good platform. I think they're the longest running show in Europe. So that was where I thought, not only can I go there and have those questions answered, but arguably they've got, probably the welterweight division is one of the most competitive they've got, with a lot of, they've got maybe 4 or 5 ex-UFC competitors in that division already. So.
How did you hook up with Cage Warriors? Did you have a relationship in the past with Graham and the guys?
I know Ian Dean for, really since a long time ago. So just, my management kind of spoke to Ian Dean and just went from there, really.
Yeah. You're going to make your debut in Cardiff on April 27th?
Yeah, that's right,
yeah. Aaron Khalid is a great opponent for your debut. Yeah. Are you familiar with Aaron? Do you know much about him?
I wasn't that familiar with him. I just don't really watch that many fights, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm obviously familiar with him now since I've signed the fight. I've studied the footage, and other people in my team have looked at it, and I think it's a tough fight. He's only lost by decision, and that's arguably to the guy that's got the Cage Warriors title. Tough guy, and seems to be pretty competent and improving. So I think with guys coming up, I was that guy a long time ago, and you can watch as much footage as you want, but they're improving every fight. So we'll see.
What's the training situation for you at the moment? Obviously we're down here today at a New School. Where's your regular home at the moment?
So I've got a gym in Southampton, Analysis Gym. Do 90% of my training from there. Occasionally I'll take trips back to the States. I went to California for a week or so, and then I actively go into gyms and just get sessions every now and then. Fridays at the moment I'm coming down to London, so I work at New School and I work at Stars Gym on some other bits and pieces, but I kind of travel around, and I know most of the guys that either run the gyms or train there, so just pick up sessions and bits and pieces and build on that with my gym back in Southampton.
Where was you working in California?
Well, when I went out there last time, I pretty much just trained at Eddie Bravo's, trained at 10th Planet for a little bit, and also went down to Atos for a couple of days. Just trained out there really. So.
Yeah. At this point in your career, you've achieved so much: BAMMA title, cage rage. What's your goals for 2019?
You know, on a year thing, I'm not so concerned, but my goals are, I believe that at welterweight, that's the fight weight I should have always been at. So although I did, you know, well as a middleweight and different things, I think at the very elite, the top level, that weight, the size, too many different things in reach and other bits and pieces, I believe at welterweight I'll be able to dominate a lot more than I did at middleweight. So that's what I'm going out there to do, and April 27th we'll see the start of whether I can do that or not.
I know you just said that you've not really been watching too many fights, but did you manage to catch Nicholas Darby and Alex Lahore last weekend?
I didn't see the whole fight, but I saw a clip of the finish. In my opinion, I think Darby is probably the best welterweight on the roster. There is other guys that present different challenges, but I think as a well-rounded guy, I think he's probably, I would say at the moment, the most dangerous welterweight. So on that basis, I was, looking at that because I see that as a fight that will potentially come up not very far away.
What's your opinions of the current champion, Ross Houston?
Yeah, I've only seen the couple of fights where he fought Khalid. He looks very athletic, looks very big, looks very strong, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a guy that's 8-0, very confident and improving all the time. So I think he's someone that he's going to keep getting better. But I've fought guys like that before, and in some ways they are slightly untested at the world level. So it'd be interesting to see him against some of the guys like Dolby or myself, or guys with that elite level experience, and see where his skills are at then. And I'm sure that's what he wants to do as well. So
talking about Cardiff, two of your former opponents are going to be fighting tomorrow, John Phillips and Jack Marshman. What's your opinions of that fight, and how do you see that going? It's the battle of being built as the Battle of Wales. I think it could be the best fight on the card, because I believe that they will box quite heavily, and they will both go for knockouts. I'm torn at who's going to win. I've had a period of time where I think Phillips can stop him. I think he might, Marshman sometimes might play into having a bit too much of a tear up, and Phillips is always dangerous in that type of a fight. But I'm also persuaded that I think Marshman potentially is a bit more well-rounded, and I think he's done better, in the UFC and at that elite level. So it's a difficult one, because I think both of those guys, I fought them very early in their career. Marshman, albeit 10-0, he hadn't really been at the elite level, and John Phillips was early in his career, although it was early in my career as well. I think it legitimately, I think is a 50-50 fight, and I think it's either going to be a knockout or a decision where both of them, you can see they've had a fight. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be an amazing one. You was down at Cage Warriors at the Indigo. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the show? There was a lot of great fights on that night. Was you soaking it all up?
Yeah, some really good fights. It's been a while since I've actually been, sort of that close to a fight as well. Watching live, obviously watching online and things like that. But I was really impressed with Modestus. I trained with him at Roger Gracie's, a couple of years ago for probably 8 months, something like that. And I thought that was a strong performance, because the first round got taken down like it was a difficult fight, as a challenging fight, and managed to be creative and find a decent finish. So and again the weight, he was at middleweight, and he's kind of finding his way at 205. But there was some real good fights, quite close to John Maguire. I've done a bit of training with him as well, so obviously had an interest in that, and didn't go the way that probably I expected, he expected. But Brad Wheeler is improving all the time, and is another guy that sort of made me take a bit of notice, thinking that there's another guy that might be a fight potentially down the line that's a tough fight.
That would be a great fight. I think just thinking of that now, that'd be excellent. I'm a fan of both of you guys. That'd be great to watch. One thing I wanted to ask you about, you was quite outspoken about TRT in the past. The UFC's took on USADA now. Actually, like from what you're seeing of how that's going, is that enough of what they've been doing over there?
The problem I have, so when I fought in the UFC, most of I think the first 5 or 6 fights were without the USADA program. So the 7th fight was. On the 7th fight, didn't get tested once.
Oh, right.
So I understand the USADA program is a bit more about random testing. We're not testing you on fight night, but I didn't get tested at all at the event. Didn't get tested after the event. So in certain ways, I found it odd. You know, I was expecting that to make a big difference, and I still have my opinions. I'll look at a lot of the fighters and a lot of the things, and I think I'm still under the impression that the more money you've got, the higher status you are as a fighter, the higher the chance you've probably got a better doctor that's playing the system. So in some ways, I think the USADA thing is creating almost a harder aspect for some of these guys coming in and coming up to potentially get to that level, because that maybe before they might have gone down different routes and different paths, but now, yeah, it's good in a way. But I just go to Lance Armstrong, you know, was followed by USADA, was tested I think 300 times in a year, that's almost every day, and was never caught. So you know, I'm not sure that USADA's in now. I believe that everybody's not taking certain things. There's no way in my mind that that's actually the case.
Sure. Just to, because obviously I know I was running late today, so I don't want to eat up in too much of your training time. If fans are not familiar with you, what would you say they should look out for in your performances coming up? How would you describe yourself as a fighter?
You know, I used to take a lot of credit and pride in, like, anybody who comes to watch me fight, it's exciting money. I'm always going to come actively and push the fight. But you know, sometimes maybe that's not the smartest strategy. So going forward, I think maybe I would like people to see that, you know, this guy is really creative, and every fight we watch now, we don't actually really know what he's going to do, how he's going to approach the fight, whether he is going to come forward and do that sort of style where he's in your face, or whether it's going to be movement, whether it's going to be different. You know, that's mixed martial arts to me. So now it's kind of about showcasing that no matter how the fight goes, where it is, I'm confident in either style, really.
Yeah, brilliant, great. Thanks for your time, Tom. I can't wait to see you in action in Cardiff on the 27th of April. I'll be there.
All right,
good luck with your training and good luck with the fight.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.